Hey guys, welcome back. This is week 24 Project Life, and I'm having a bit of fun this week with a whole bunch of supplies that my gorgeous friend Alice sent me. So she split up a Vicki Boutin Color Story 6x8 pad and sent me the bits that she thinks I would like. She also printed me out a whole bunch of printables from Inner Creative Bubble, printed them on this gorgeous thick cardstock. All I had to do was trim them out. It was the most marvelous little surprise. She knows how much I love Project Life and how I've missed having a bunch of cards in my stash, so she sent me these printables. That's what I'm basically working with today. Now, the first thing that I did do though is I knew that I wanted to use that highs and lows card. So apart from printing my photos as normal, I did actually go ahead and resize a couple of photos so that I knew that they would fit into those portions of that 4x6 card down the bottom. And then what I'm doing here, and spoiler alert, I don't end up using it, I'm trimming out the middle portion of one of these 4x6 cards because I thought it would make a really cute frame, which it does. I'm not saying it doesn't. I just don't know that it works with the photo that I wanted to have it on. So I just used a craft knife and a ruler and trimmed that all out, and you can see the idea that I was going for here. It's just not, there's a couple of reasons I don't love it. There is no real kind of focus in the photo, especially once I put that frame over the top of it. I also don't love the white card next to the other white card. So I'm not going to use that this time. I am going to use this concept though. So I'm trimming out one of the 3x4 cards that I picked out. It had a sort of white border around the outside of it. So I'm just trimming that off. So the outside rather than the inside this time. And I'll be able to layer that with some pattern paper and just give a little bit of color to that black and white printable. So I'm going to go ahead and choose some colored paper. I have not seen a 6x8 pad that's double-sided like this before, so I was a little bit shocked when I realized it was double-sided and I had to pick from both sides of those papers. Initially, when I first went through these bits that Alice had sent me, I picked out a paper that I thought I would use for the title card, which was that kind of rainbow sunburst paper I pulled out first, but in the end I decided it was a little bit too much color for this spread. The colors that I'm gonna focus on, I picked out this sort of pink floral and this little teal grid. I know, shocking. And then I found that card, or the paper that I've used for the card and my title card, which had the yellow and the grid, and I realized that those three colors are in my coffee photo at the top right. So that was set. It was like it was meant to be. I'm using teal, yellow, and pink, which is one of my favorite combos, and it came together super easily. So I have gone and typed directly onto those cards with my typewriter. I've got just a vintage typewriter, but it does have We Are Memory Keepers typecast ribbon in it. And so I've typed on the pink side of that card. When I bought those back, I realized that I hadn't actually picked out a paper for the journal card that I trimmed down. So I thought about kind of shuffling the ones that I've already got. On the back of that teal paper is this really cute polka dot, but it did kind of introduce a few other colors, and because I've got this sort of really specific color scheme this week, I decided to pick another one. So I've picked out another of the kind of plainer patterns in there, and it definitely in mass it does look like it's a little bit more on the purple side, but when it's just a little frame like that, it does read a little bit more pink. So I'm going to use that. It worked nicely. The highs and lows cards, we had some real lows this week, and I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to talk about it here, and I'm not going to write about it in my project life. Sometimes I do, and other times when it's like this, I just really don't want to document it. So I've got one little photo there. I'm going to call that done. That's enough as far as that goes. I'm just going to move on and focus on some more positive and joyful things from the week. So I really loved that joy and delight card because I could pick out three really fun things from the week. Some of them relate to the photos, some of them don't, but it was just a nice opportunity to kind of shift focus from what was a pretty bad week. Now I'm moving on to my title card. I've got a little jar of labels there that I've just printed out. They're from various different places. Studio Calico, Citrus Twist. I know I printed out the Citrus Twist Christmas ones from last year several times because there are so many fun colors in there. And so I've just got this little jar. I had managed to use all of the last lot that I had printed out. So I sat down and printed a bunch more a couple of weeks ago, filled my jar back up again. So I'm going to use a few labels this week. One I used for my title card. It was nice and long so I could stamp both dates side by side without having to mask anything off. Just use my little gel pen in the middle to draw a little heart. And then I decided to grab some black alphas, and I definitely will be going back to adhere these down with some liquid adhesive or something. I might even just stitch it with my sewing machine. They're really old chipboard thickers, which means they basically have zero stick left. So I will definitely go back and make sure that they are adhered a little bit more. But I love the really graphic nature of them. The black is really quite stark, but there's a lot of black and that kind of graphic design in here because of those cards from In a Creative Bubble, so it just worked really nicely. On the total opposite of that, I picked out these alphas here. They're for a really old Paige Evans Pink Paisley collection, I think, and they've got that sort of metallic pinky, it's not even rose gold, it's definitely a metallic pink, and I picked those ones out because they're just little, they kind of match the color scheme, but they sort of fade into the background of my photo, which I'm also cheating with this week because the actual winter solstice was the Monday after this photo, but I didn't realize it at the time. I took a photo on the Sunday rather than the Monday, so I'm just putting it in. I'm saying solstice. I know it's not 100% correct. It's close enough. Now, since I've used the printable cards, I decided I would go away and find a bunch of In a Creative Bubble and Feed Your Craft stamp sets. These are all super old. I knew I had this one here that said ice cream makes me happy, which is perfect with my little Lily photo. She's busy licking the ice cream stick, so I've just stamped that onto a label. I get really lucky with the labels. I managed to find ones that fit all of the stamps that I want to use this week, so that was less good planning and more good luck, but it worked perfectly for this one, and it's going to work again for this one. I'm going to mix a couple of different stamp sets. I want to stamp the word captured, and it is quite large, so I'm trying to find a label that's going to be big enough, and I just happened to come upon one that not only is long enough to fit the stamp, but is also going to be tall enough because I want to stack this stamp with another one. So I'm going to stamp captured first, and then I'm going to use a different stamp set that says My Happy Place. I just literally can't find it at the moment. There it is. I'm going to stamp My Happy Place above captured, and then I can add that onto my other little square photo. That's me sitting at my desk. I spent most of the weekend from this week filming a little mini series for my patrons and had a great time doing it. So I did stop several times for coffee. So coffee and crafting are definitely my happy place. So I'm just adding that in. There was a bit of sort of space at the top of that label, so I popped that under the photo. Right now, I'm looking at what else I can add, and I decided I don't need to add anything, so that is this week all done. It was such an awesome surprise getting these supplies in the mail, and I have loved using them for this week. If you've got a special friend who enjoys crafting, I highly suggest you pop something in the post to them so that they can make something fun as well. Thanks for watching today, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, there are a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye!